But back to what Platinum was saying, just the fact that she was able to, go through that, and she probably had so many mixed feelings, mixed emotions, and for God to be with her through it all, and it's like, look at her now. You know what I mean?
Yes.
I'm assuming, do you still have the port? Or
So, like I said, I'm a walking miracle. So
man,
going through that, I went through 6 months of hard chemo.
6 months. Wow.
6 months. I mean, it
Was it
was rough.
radiation and chemo or just
It was both. Cause
okay?
at first when I first was diagnosed, I was getting the radiation first, and I
Mm,
was getting the shots, and that wasn't working. Then we had to go to chemo. So
mm.
it was a lot.
Well, let me ask you this, because this is actually interesting. Because, like I said, you were a patient, and then me being in the medical field, I think we can expound more on this. With the radiation treatments, what had them determine, like, okay, the radiation isn't working, or what made them choose? The second question on that question: what made them choose radiation over chemo first?
Because when it first came about, they said it was like it wasn't like cancerous at the
Mm-hmm.
time. They said,
Mm-hmm.
okay, it's alarming cells, but it's treatable. We could treat that first.
Okay.
When I got sick, when I got that bacteria, apparently it made my situation worse,
Mm.
and it spread from my stomach to my
Where'd
lungs.
the bacteria come from?
So that's one thing that is still unknown to this day.
Interesting.
Um,
Mm-hmm.
so like I said, I'm young, so I'm not eating all the right stuff. Like I'm just gonna be honest. Like I'm young, got a six pack. I mean, who is? I mean, you're young, you got a fast metabolism.
True.
So, I don't really know exactly how everything came about with that.
Mm-hmm.
Um, I do know, like I said, when it first started, it was just alarming cells. Oh, it's treatable. And then when I got sick, with that bacteria, it spread it to my lungs, and it
Mm.
became cancerous. And then they became alarmed, and they were saying like, okay, we need to treat this more
And they
aggressively.
felt like radiation was the first
Yes.
first idea, first plan, and then the radiation wasn't working.
Right.
Now, what was the side effects of radiation? Because I know with a lot of people with radiation, they get burned skin,
Yeah.
or hair could fall out. I know a lot of it is from chemo where your hair falls out, but um,
Radiation, it burns.
mm-hmm.
Like it's like a burn sensation going to your body. It's
Do they use some type of injection, or you're sitting under a, like, because
so
and just to let y'all know, like I said, I worked at the cancer center, but I wasn't on the radiation side. I was on the oncology side, and at that time we didn't even have a chemo lab. They got it done at the hospital. So, like I said, I'm on the outside looking in, just trying to learn the process, and I think this is kind of interesting.
so mine was a little different. They gave me shots. Like they gave
Okay.
me and it was so uncomfortable. I used to have to do about I want to say 2 shots a week.
Wow.
That was the first start of it.
And
Um
this is radiation.
and it was so uncomfortable. Like it
Hmm.
just feels crazy. But it didn't drain me because I was only getting like small portions.
How
Like it
long
was
was the
just
process?
so I would say before I got sick.
Hmm.
So the first course of action was to give me the shots. It was bringing my numbers down.
Okay.
But then they were like, okay, you know what? Let's do a DNC. Let's bring them down even tremendously. So the first DNC brought them down tremendously. It's okay, it's working. So I wasn't getting them that often. It was more like they were treating me as like the numbers came down.
Mm.
So this is where like so after my because I had about at least 3 DNCs. The second DNC, everything was still looking good. They still was giving me shots. So I would say
Can you
total.
explain to the audience what DNC is?
So not getting medical terms, but
Hmm.
it's for like it's a surgery that you get on your like your uterus.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's where they scrape the wall. Like because I had my alarm cells in my stomach,
Mm.
so they had to kind of go in there and scrape whatever it was.
Oh, I'm sorry, and don't try to come for me either, because at the end of the day, just because I'm in the medical field, don't mean I know what DNC is. So let's just get that out the way. All right, I'm sorry. Continue.
So it was like, and correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm not a medical field, so I probably might not be saying the right words. But yeah, it's something around when you get like surgery uterus, and I know I had to have at least 3 because it was like because it was somewhat successful, like it was bringing my numbers down, so that's why they gave me so many. But what they did wrong was the 3rd surgery. Mind you, I'm still in high school at this point. So I gotta go to school. I can't keep taking off school because with these surgeries, my immune system were very weak. So I have to stay in the house so I don't get sick. So at this time, my school is like, what's going on? She's missing too many days of school. And, we're trying to figure out what's going on. So with the 3rd DNC, they made me come to school. They said, look, we understand she has surgery, but she needs to come to school. So that literally, I had to go to school after having surgery. And those DNC, they're no joke.
And anybody knows after surgery, you need time to heal. You're not supposed to be exposed to, bacteria and germs and stuff like that, because that's how you can lead to an infection. And I'm assuming that's what happened, correct?
Yes. I went to school the next day. I was fine at first, but I was feeling very like I was on my menstrual cycle. I was feeling cramps and hurt, but I'm thinking that's just normal. I'm young. That's just normal. No, it was nighttime where it got worse, and it was just I was just feeling a little cramp here and there, but I would say I started to get alarmed when I'm going to the bathroom and it's just alarming a lot of blood. I'm like, okay, this ain't. So I'm coming down. My grandma like, grandma, I think something's wrong. So she said, okay, take you to the hospital. Got to the hospital, it got worse. And that's why I was saying, like, I was laying there just looking at the hospital bed of my blood, just like, and I'm looking at my grandma like, this is it. This is it. Like,
did your body go cold a little bit?
Yes, it definitely did. I'm laying there and I'm just like.
Did you feel like you were getting close to like going into shock, or?
So I definitely felt myself going into shock because I'm looking at the bed and I'm looking, and my grandma is like, she's trying to stay calm, but I could see the concern in her face. Like she's yelling at the nurse, like, someone come in here, like. So and I just remember going to sleep and then waking up paralyzed. And
okay, so that's how we got to the paralyzation part. Okay, so we kind of like you did the main story, and then we kind of got the beginning of that main story.
Yep.
So are you saying that the chemo and radiation was before this all happened?
So the radiation was before that all happened.
Okay.
Chemo was after. Because I got that bacteria.
So. Okay, so radiation, paralyzation, chemo.
Yes.
Correct?
Yes, I went through a lot of different channels before we went to chemo.
Wow.
So my body was, as you say, exhausted. Not to mention, I'm anemic. So my body is not that strong to begin with. Right. So losing that much blood definitely was the main reason why I was paralyzed.
Wow. Well, first and foremost, God is good. We're going to just start with that. Because that was a lot to take in. I mean, and it doesn't really matter how we started the story, because if you have, and I'm not coming for y'all, I'm just saying, but if you have logic, or if you were really listening, she just explained her story, middle, beginning, end. I mean, of course it should have been beginning, middle, end, but just depends on how the spirit moves. But the whole point of it is God brought her out of that situation, and with the treatments and everything that she was going through, to where she almost died and bled out, God still kept her. His blood covered her blood. I mean, think about that. His blood covered her blood when she was bleeding out, and he healed her, because the doctors didn't know what they were doing. No. They dang near had her as a lab subject, to at least how she just explained it.
Oh yeah.
And We just got to thank God, like I said, for his love, his grace, and his mercy. Because even when we feel like we should have been dead and gone, now we're a living testimony.